Hey YouTube, I'm making this video for a friend of mine who wants to know where to ride near Brewster, Mass on Cape Cod. I'm going to cover all of Cape Cod, but I'm going to start with Nickerson State Park near Brewster, Mass. If you use trailforks.com or the Trailforks app, it will give you a map of the trails. The main entrance to the park is over here. I don't know if you have to pay. The entrance I always use is way over here on the south side off of Freeman's Way. There is a bunch of baseball fields and stuff, and I park at the end of the baseball fields, go to the left of the field, the far field, it's like a soccer field. You start in on these trails. I don't think all the trails are pictured here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the openstreetmap.org website. Around the park, there is a fairly wide road that goes all the way around here, and there's also a bike path pictured in blue that goes around here, and there's just a ton of little skinny single track trails all in between that are pretty cool. Now as you get up near the campgrounds, which are here, there are a bunch of more little single track trails, some of which, like this one, is pretty fun. I don't know if they're always open. I know that this one over here at the top of this pond is closed to bicycles, but there's still a ton of other ones like this Higgins Pond Road and stuff like that. There's some dirt roads that are kind of almost Vermontish around this area. Higgins Pond and then this road, and then there's some more trails over there. There's a bunch of trails near the power line, like right here. This is close to the entrance of the park, that are pretty cool trails. I have never actually ridden any of these trails. This is a bike path, this blue. This over here is a bike path that goes way up to towards Provincetown, and then it goes the other direction, way down that direction. I think you can get to Chatham and some other places. But since we're just talking about Nickerson State Park, there's the bike paths here are quite hilly and windy, very windy. Like this Roos Pond thing is really a windy section of bike path. It's pretty cool. So there's bike paths, there's a perimeter kind of wide road, and then there's just a ton of single track in between. Now on the other side of the road, over here, so if you were parked at that baseball field on Freeman's Way, this is the ballpark, and this is the last field, and this is the trail that comes in, and then you just go straight across this wide trail, and you can get on all the single track in here. On the other side of the road, though, there's a whole mess more of single track, and you can ride in there for quite a while. It's pretty difficult because the ups and downs are kind of steep, but I'm sure it's nothing for you, Mike. So that's Nickerson State Park. Now I'm going to go on to some of the other things on Cape Cod. So this Willow Street I've never been to. The jail thing I went to, it wasn't really worth doing. But the West Barnstable Conservation Area, also known as the Trail of Tears, is a pretty cool little place. This might be most of the trails. There's a ton of trails there. I either park right off the highway exit there. You can park right here, or I've parked way down here on Race Lane. So there's that parking, a small parking lot there, and a small parking lot there. This trail is okay, not bad. This is the Trail of Tears, and that has a lot of very steep ups and downs and is pretty difficult. All these other trails are pretty fun and easy, and there's just a ton of them. They all intersect. It's pretty easy to orient here because you got a power line going through here, which is kind of always, you're coming to the power line and you always kind of have a feeling for where you are. You either have the highway here or the power line here or another road over here, and it's pretty easy to know where you are. At Nickerson State Park, it's pretty easy to get lost, as is the next place I'm going to show you, which is this Otis Air Force Base, I think they call it. This place here, it's down near Falmouth. It's just got a maze of trails, and if you can tell me where you are at any point in time, I'll be shocked. I had the whole thing loaded on my GPS, and I couldn't tell whether I was on this trail or this trail. They're so close together. So these are pretty fun trails, well worth visiting and doing if you're on Cape Cod. Now, I have never done this southbound trail or the Moraine Trail. However, they look pretty long and they go right along Route 28, so they probably are extremely easy to follow, and they go all the way down to this pond, which I've never done either, so I can't tell you whether or not that's any good, but if you're looking for a longer ride, that might be a pretty nice area to go to. So the only parking I know of for this place is off Route 28. You come down, you get off on, looks like Nathan Ellis Highway, and the parking area is right here. It's not very big, but that's where the only place I've parked. There's probably other parking spots, but that's the only one they're showing on this map, and that's the only one I have been to. So that's about it. And if you go to Cape Cod, it's surprisingly fun riding. During the winter, Cape Cod is a pretty good place to ride because they don't get hardly any snow at all, and the trails don't get muddy because they're sandy. It's pretty good riding out on the Cape. So Nickerson, West Barnstable Conservation Area, and Otis Air Force Base are the 3 places I would recommend riding on Cape Cod. Thanks for watching.